then, I want to say a few words today about the abuser's matrix. And this is under the Safe Relationship Training umbrella. And this is where we train ourselves. We become aware of those things that we need to change in order to keep ourselves safe and to be able to create safe relationships. So today I'm going to be talking about the abuser's matrix. And a matrix is a type of mold, if you will. And today I want to say a few words about the type of relationship that the abuser draws the victim into. And that relationship is generally based on the abuser's needs. So they have certain terms and conditions, if you will, that they groom the victim into in alignment with their agenda. And that agenda generally is getting the victim to become the type of person that they need in order to carry out their abuse, because abusers generally enjoy the abusive dynamic. Also, the abusive dynamic is set up in a way that makes the abuser feel secure and safe, in that they feel secure enough to abuse because they know the victim isn't going anywhere. And in order for them to stay to the dynamic, certain behaviours need to be instilled within the victim so that they become a victim, they become someone who is able to be malleable, able to be controlled, able to be coerced in order to be manipulated consistently over a long period of time, so that they stay where they are, they stay fixed, they're unable to leave. Sometimes they don't want to leave because the bad times are interspersed with intermittent reinforcement in order to get them to stay. So the mold, or the matrix, if you will, is shaped in a form that fits the abuser's needs, their wishes, and that is to be in control and to have all the power and to be able to manipulate the partner, and sometimes the people around the partner, and sometimes the people around the abuser, in order to keep the status quo in place. Things are on their terms and are on their level, and they are where they want things to be. Everybody is playing their part, if you will, including the abuser. So the matrix is a mold that the victim is placed in, and they are molded to fit in this matrix, this reality that the abuser creates, so that the abuser's needs are met, the victim becomes the person that the abuser needs the victim to be, so that they can continue to remain in their position of one-upmanship, of the superior one, of the dominant one, if you will. And should the victim move out of their position of victimhood, should they start to see the light, as it were, then various behaviours are brought into play in order to bring the victim back in line again. So it may be seduction, it may be a shift in behaviour from the abuser, so that the victim discounts their own perception of the abuser and changes their behaviour, shifts back again, and says to themselves, oh well, that wasn't real what happened before, that was just some issues we were having, and then they are drawn back in again. So the conditioning process, if you will, is really about rewarding the victim for good behaviour, for being the type of person that the abuser wants them to be, for accepting the abuse, for accepting everything the abuser says. And they are rewarded for being good, if you will. And then they are punished with silent treatments or ignoring or discounting. Some sort of punishment is given when they're not behaving as they should do, if you will. And so in that sense, the victim is conditioned to remain in the matrix, to remain in their position, in their role as victim, in order to fulfill the abuser's needs. So these measures, if you will, that keep the victim hooked in are put into place, and they're repeated consistently, continually, so that the victim, at the end of the day, begins to give up, begins to stop asking for her needs or his needs to be met, and just generally falls in alignment with the abuser's needs and whatever they say and the conditioning process. And then they have learned helplessness. They know that if they try to get out, nothing's going to work, sort of thing. And everything really is in alignment with the abuser's matrix. So as always, stay safe and very happy. Bye-bye.